Okay. So, all right. Let's walk through the notes here. So hopefully you have your notes out in front of you. Here's what we're talking about. We're on section 610 today, 610. And what we're talking about in this particular section is we're talking about commission.
So Warren,
Commission.
remind me again,
What?
test day, for sure.
Test day, probably next Thursday.
Okay.
No, Wednesday. Wednesday will be the test day.
Well, will you not be here?
Are you gonna go over what I missed yesterday?
Yes, I'll do that at the very end. So, yeah, 10 cents. All right.
Drop my wallet.
Okay, 610. All right. So we're talking about commission today. Here's the idea. So, all right. For commission, it's when you're in sales, in some type of sales, in your if that's your profession, and you make a small amount of money on that sale. So this is actually based on salary. So it's actually what you're going to get paid. So an example of this would be if you worked at Best Buy in Mason City. Okay, so here's an example, right? So I want to talk about some actual uses for it, some actual examples. That if you worked in Best Buy in like the TV department, the home appliance section, so TV or the appliances.
I don't understand what it is.
Okay, you make a small commission on what you sell there. Now I don't know the exact percent that you actually make at Best Buy. Let's say it's 5%. Say it's 5%. Okay, so what that means, and this is your commission rate that you get paid. So let's say somebody walks up and buys that $3,700 TV. Okay,
Oh my God.
and the only reason I keep bringing this one up is because I actually watched the person buy it in store. Okay,
You did?
Yeah, and it made me laugh. It was in the newspaper. It was like he bought a big TV. Let's calm it down. Okay, so he bought a $3,700 TV. Okay. And it was a couple days before the Super Bowl, so I know what he was doing. He was just buying for the Super Bowl, and he's going to probably return it. So, so he buys the TV. The person that was making the sale is super excited, super giddy, because here's the idea, right? You're going to get paid if you take 5%, take it 0.05, and you multiply it on that $3,700. This is the amount of money you get in cash at the end.
Oh.
Yeah. So I like it on your calculator. Take 3,700, take it times 0.05, and this is literally the cash you get to put in your pocket after you get paid that night from your employer.
185.
$185. You just made $185 because of that sale.
I want to go work there.
Not bad, right? Now, here's the one thing that people don't know. In this type of business, if you're in TV and appliances in Best Buy, you can actually haggle the price. What I mean by haggle means you can negotiate what you want to pay for that object. You don't actually have to pay what's marked on the ticket. That's the only rare spot in Best Buy. It's that TV home appliances. It doesn't work for like music or like the games or anything. You can't do that. But in the TV and home appliances, you can actually negotiate what you want to pay for the TV, and they'll work with you. So let's say
I didn't know that.
yeah, a lot of people don't. They don't advertise it because the people that work in that department get paid commission. So when you're negotiating price, they're willing to sacrifice a little bit of cash for the TV because they know they're going to get paid anyway. So they'll negotiate. So he won't drop $185. So if you know what they get paid in commission, that's why they don't tell anyone. You know what the wiggle room is. You know what the wiggle is because this TV had a wiggle room of $185. So you could drop maybe $50 and he'd probably go, okay, that's fine. Because he'll get paid $135 on top of that.
My dad gets,
So-
is this like that day you get that money?
No, it'd be like the end of the month. They would add up all your sales and then they would take out taxes and then that's the cash you get in your pocket. So now this is different. Like let's say you're a waiter or waitress, right? So if you're going to be in the food business, so you're going to be a waiter, okay? So you're going to be a waiter, right? You get tips. Tip is commission. So typically, like let's say you went to what is it? The other place in Clear Lake, OP, right? Let's say your
Like a
bill
bar
was
and grill.
let's say your bill was $16. You bought a pizza, it was $16 for the whole thing, right? Well, when you leave a tip is on the table. It's commission. How they always do that on the bill, they always say, would you like to leave a tip? And they always give you numbers, like, let's say you're gonna leave a 15% tip. 15% is the money on top of that. So if you take $16, you take it times 0.15, that's the extra cash you leave on the table for the waitress. Or waiter, I should say. I shouldn't say waitress, but waiter.
That's $2.4.
$2.4. So you leave an extra $2.4, $2.40, and that's what the waiter or waitress gets. And the difference between a waitress and Best Buy, the waitress or waiter gets to take that cash home that night. That's the cash in their pocket. And here's the cool part. When you're a waiter, that cash, you don't have to fill out taxes on it. Like that's just cash. You take it, you go. Now at the end of the night, usually what all waiters and waitresses do, they split a little bit of that money and they give it to the cook. Because the cook actually made the food, they are just walking it out. So if the cook is really good, you usually give them a chunk of your money. Because if the cook is really doing their job, you get paid way more money that night. Because the food's coming out faster and people are giving bigger tips. So that's the way it works. So that's just a little heads up if you're ever in the food
Like
business.
the rib crib.
Yeah, so pay the cook.
Oh, Tuesday night, all you can eat ribs, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So,
Oh,
I didn't know that. All you can-
Evan, my dad's been wanting to go to that for a while now.
Yeah, Tuesdays, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. That's really good to know. All right.
Never mind too.
Okay, yeah. All right. Are we good with the examples? Now,
That's every Tuesday.
I want to show you the most extreme case of commission, and this is one that I personally know because I had a buddy that worked there. Red Power in Mason City. Okay. Red Power.
Oh,
Red
those,
Power-
those people? Oh.
Red Power is the business that's right across from the John Deere. It's the
Rocky.
Yeah, it's right across from Brackey Enterprise. The John Deere, Red Power is obviously the international business, with the international tractors, the red tractors, right? They get paid, the salesmen in that department get paid a lot of money for making the sales. In fact, your commission when you sell a tractor or something in Red Power, you get a 30% commission.
Well, but, oh,
30% commission.
yes.
Okay?
But
This
you
is-
wouldn't want to work at Red Power.
Oh yeah, you would.
No, Bracky's 40.
Oh, 40, jeez. All right, 40%. I want to just walk you through the numbers here, what this is. Let's say you sold a combine, right? The big harvester, right? A combine is $500,000. $500,000. That's what a combine
Farmers
costs.
make more than that,
Okay.
don't they?
Okay, what?
Farmers make more than that.
Yeah, oh yeah. Farmers make a lot of money. That's why they don't buy combines every year. They buy them every couple of years. You know, they trade in, get the next month. But here's the thing. If you take this times 0.30, 30%, take it times 0.30. This is the cash the salesman gets at the end of the day. And I'm not joking. This person that just sold a combine at Red Power just made more money than me in 5 years of me working here. In 1 day of sale.
I want to go into sales.
Yeah, this is, I'll
15,000
say it again. So it was
or
500,000 times
150.
0.30.
150.
I forget
Yeah,
one.
I got 150.
I got 150,000. That's the number I had.
That's what I have.
Okay, 150,000. $150,000.
Jesus!
I don't make that money.
I would love to
don't
get a job
I
there
don't make
now.
that money in 5 years working here. And they made that in 1
Let's do
day.
Rocky next.
They made that in 1
I'm
day.
working on that.
Okay? Now, obviously, let's talk about this. So you're thinking, 150 grand, I just got paid 150 grand for selling that combine? There's a difference.
About
Because
5 million.
most farmers going in don't actually buy the combine outright. Okay? They trade
That's more
for an
than
old
that.
one, and they make a little bit of money on the old one, and they pay
Yeah.
the difference. So really, you're not making this amount of money,
I mean, Red Power.
okay? You're not making this amount of money, you're making a smaller chunk of that, because the farmer isn't going in and buying a brand new combine, he's trading in the old one, so there's a difference. So what they do is they take the price, subtracting what you just traded
If
in.
it's $5 million
And so-
for one, if you would get $1,500,000.
That's awesome. All right, so let's do Brackey Enterprise. Brackey, you said, gets 40% commission.
Yep.
Okay, so you got to be really on the ball to make the sale. So let's do a real life example with Brackey. Let's say you're going to buy that $500,000 combine or tractor, and you did a trade-in. So you walked in, you had an old tractor you're going to trade in. The old tractor you had was worth $350,000. So what you do is you subtract the price. So what you're left with
Zero.
is 150 grand. Is that right? You subtract
Minus
35.
350.
150 grand.
No, wouldn't that 5 and 3 be a 2?
Yeah, but you have a 5 in front of you to borrow. 4, 10, 5, 1.
Yeah, now.
150 grand, okay?
Yep, 150.
And then you take this, and now bracket, you get 40%.
Yep,
Take it times 0.4. And this amount of money you'd walk out in cash. Probably, this is a more realistic number if this is bracket. This is junk. 0.40. What's the number? 150 times 0.40.
They beat them by,
So, I want to know this number. 150 times 0.40.
6, no. Yeah, 60,000.
Say it again, 60,000 even?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 60,000. Now you're thinking, okay, you're like Ward, they should be making more money than that. This is if somebody went out and bought a brand new combine, traded in nothing, brand new farmer. This is if somebody did a more realistic number, that you traded in an old one, you bought a new one, this is the difference in price, and this is what you get commission on. the new
That's still
price.
spending though.
This money is what I make in 2 years working here. And they did it in 1 day. This person gets this cash in their pocket at the end of the day. That's why there's only select few salesmen at Brackey Enterprise. And here's the reason why. A salesman like this at Brackey can sell multiple tractors a year.
Yeah,
Multiple tractors a year.
hey, if you want.
That's why those gentlemen live on the lake in Clear Lake. So you're getting 60 grand a year. Like that's pretty good, and that's just one sale. A lot of those gentlemen do, they have clients. So they'll set up a portfolio like I have these 4 or 5 select farmers that I deal with every year. You have your select 4. That way you're not overlapping because the salesmen they're kind of a little rapid, right? They're a little rapid that they want to make their sale, they want to sell, and they don't want to get over top of each other, and they don't want to disrupt. So that's why farmers have certain people they go to make their sales, because they know that they'll get the tractor they want. Okay. Now let's talk about what other businesses can use this. Car sales is the '1 thing people always think
Yes, we're going into
Okay.
the favorite stuff.
about. Cars, yeah. So if you went into a car dealer here in Clear Lake, let's say we went over to Ohlenberg's. Okay. I'm making these numbers up.
Ohlenberg's is in Garner.
Yep, Ohlenberg's.
You said Clear Lake.
Ohlenberg's in here in Garner. They're by Hardee's.
Yeah, wait, you said in Clear Lake.
Oh, did I? I said Garner. Okay, Garner. Ohlenberg's. So you're gonna buy a car from Ohlenberg's. Let's say you're gonna buy a new Chevy pickup. Okay.
Ooh.
So you're gonna buy let's say you're gonna buy a
Silverado.
$30,000 truck, kind of the smaller model of it, right? Not a lot of features, but 30,000. That's a lot of money. A salesman at Ohlenberg's might make 2% on that. Okay, not 30. It's not like a tractor. They want to sell them, but they're not making a lot of money because that truck costs a lot of cash to make. So here's what I like to do: take your $30,000, take it times 0.02. 0.02, that's 2%. And this is the amount of money that you're going to make. That's what you're going to make on your sale.
600.
600 bucks.
When did you
Okay.
get it?
Not bad. You made a $600 commission. Okay, you got 600 bucks in your pocket, and you made that sale. That's why when you pull into a car lot to go look at cars, the salesmen come out and they greet you and they want to talk to you. They know that's the way they get paid. They don't make an hourly rate. This is what they get paid. They have to live on that number until they can get another sale. And so that's why the car business is not a great business to be a salesman in. Now, don't get me wrong, you're gonna make a lot of money if you're good at what you do and you're in an area and the economy's in a very good position to make sales. Okay? So, and here's the worst part. This number goes down if they have trade-in. Because the trade-in, you subtract the price of the car you're trading in, and then you only get the commission on what the difference is. So that's why they're kind of strict on what they'll take for their trades. Okay? All
That's why
right,
you go work at
questions?
Nissan and Mason.
What was that?
That's why you go work at the new Nissan Mason.
They might make better percents, maybe 5%. Like that. But I'm not saying, now that's a made up number. Don't get me wrong. Ohlenberg's, I don't know what they charge. So they could maybe make a lot of percent.
They're probably 5%.
So I'm assuming, like, that's a pretty good business.
Kind of gum wrapper into that.
Yeah, it happens. All right, questions on commission? I think that's a cool business though, to be in sales. You can make some serious money doing that.
No kidding.
Yeah, and here's the thing, you don't need a college degree. You don't. You can go work right after high school into that business and make some serious money.
Tractor too?
Yeah, you can do the same thing.
Yeah, here.
Now, they do recommend that you get
I
a,
know where we're going.
yeah, they do,
In my pocket.
Or
hey, they do recommend that you get a business degree in college. They strongly recommend, because you do have to fill a lot of paperwork and you have to have that understanding of that. But it's pretty good money. It's pretty good money. Okay. Questions at all about commission? Okay, we're done for the day on that. Connor, you want me to walk through some examples that we did yesterday? Okay, let's do that.
What else in the?
So, okay, so Connor, let's talk about the problems we did yesterday. So, yesterday in class, we went online and we tried to buy like a theoretical MacBook Pro. Okay, so MacBook costs like $17.99. I think that was the price we used. Okay, something like that. Okay, yeah, it's expensive MacBooks, right? And the idea is that what?
nothing.
What do you do?
No, he's not, he didn't do anything. He's just looking through it and I'm staring at him while he's doing it.
Okay, so $17.99, and if you were to buy it with a credit card, that's what we talked about yesterday. Credit card is not just paying cash for it. Like you paid $1,700, you're done. That's a lot of money. So most people don't have $1,700, so they use a credit card. Well, a credit card charges you a fee on the credit card to actually make that purchase. So what you have to do is you have to figure out what the fee is for a credit card. Typically, it's 2%.
Yeah, I know
Okay.
that. Oh, I remember. I think we already went over this.
Maybe you and Ms. Schmidt may have.
Yeah, it was probably just me and Miss Schmidt.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't remember. But
Okay,
it
so
looks familiar.
let's keep going here. So if you have a fee, what you do is you take this price times 0.02. So Connor, I'd like on your calculator, take this number times 0.02, please. And I want to know what that number is. It's gonna be small, it's like $30 or something like that.
Oh yeah, that is small.
Times?
Yeah, multiply by 0.02.
35.
35, give me the decimals on that. 35.
98.
98, okay, perfect. So this is the fee that the credit card charged you to actually make that purchase. Okay, fine. So what you do is you take $35 and you add that, the $35.98, you add this to your $17.99. And this will be the new total. This will be the new total of what you're actually gonna have to pay for that MacBook. So add those together, let's see what you get.
Your camera's.
1,834.98.
4.98, okay?
That's
And-
even more than it was before.
I agree, because the credit card will charge you a fee for using the credit card. It's fine, that's how they make their money, that's how they pay their employees. Because they're giving you cash instantly to buy it, you don't have to like save up for it, you can just go buy it now. Then you have to make your monthly payment. So if you make your monthly payment, this is where on a credit card, you can set this number to be anything you want. You could pay $50 a month, you could pay $100 a month, but you have to always pay more than this number. This number right here, Connor. You have to pay more than 35, because that's the fee. So that's what you always have to keep in mind, you have to pay more than 35. So, in my case, we're gonna spend $68. Let's say that's what you're gonna have. I'd like you to subtract $68 from that number. This is your monthly payment.
1766.
1766.98.
Yep.
Okay. That price, did we pay off my whole MacBook? No. So what that price is, that's what carries on to the next month. So the idea is that, so this is April, right? So May 1st, that 1766 comes down here on your credit card statement. This is what you get in the mail. They said, oh, hey, you still owe some money on that MacBook. This is the bill they send you in the mail. Okay, fair enough. That's what I owe, because I made my $68 payment. So they go through all the math again. And so you go through the month, okay? So they charge you 2%. 2%. Okay, so take this number times 0.02.
Oh, look. 1766.
0.98 times 0.02.
3532.
35.32. Good. That's the new fee. You add that in. So you take your 1766 90.98.
Eventually,
add
you'll
in-
get it down far enough.
Exactly. So you're starting to get the idea that eventually you'll keep making things. So add those together. Let's see what we have. probably back up to about 7,000 something. They've even crossed 1,800.
102.
So you have those two numbers together?
1,802.
802 point, what was the numbers after it?
23.
23, okay. You're gonna make
No,
your,
30.
oh, 33? Thank you.
No, it's just 3.
Oh, 0.3, okay, 30. Then you're gonna make your payment here, so you're gonna make your $68 payment. So you subtract 68, so subtract 68.
1734.
1734. Point, what, 30?
Yeah.
Okay. And this number carries on to the next month. So June comes around, this number is left over here.
That should be.
Now, then you have to go through the whole process again. That's what we did yesterday. Does that make sense? So now, Connor, what you're gonna have is, I think Ms. Schmidt has a worksheet for you. You don't have to do all of it. What I asked these gentlemen to do, go to the next 5 lines and do this work until you make 5 payments and see what your price is still at. Okay? So you just do the whole math. So you, whatever the price is, you take it times 0.20, write down what the price was, add it in, make your $68 payment, write the total, carry it down to the next one.
I get it.
So that's all I had you do. So I just had to go through 5 lines. She has the worksheet with her, so you can kind of go through it. I think I have some of these numbers already written on it for you, so you can just kind of go through it. But that's what we talked about yesterday. So I thought it was pretty cool. That's kind of a realistic idea of how you'd actually pay off a credit card. So.
Yeah, I'll get some diesel this weekend. Yay!
Yeah, pretty realistic. So, if you use your credit card. Now, what I will talk through with these guys, like, you're gonna end up paying a lot more money for that MacBook than you thought you would because of all these fees. I mean, if you think about this, it started as a $1,700 MacBook, but look at this. You already were charged extra money, and you're still not even close to getting done paying it. So you're actually paying a lot more. So don't use a credit card to buy.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, don't use a credit card to buy
I
something
know.
that you can't pay off by the end of the month. So buy gas, pay it off. Buy candy, pay it off. Don't let it sit and fester. Oh my gosh, it goes out of control. So, but there you go. That's all we talked about.